We were in Washington, D.C. Around the Police Accountability Act with a lot of the families of, a lot of the mothers who have lost children to police violence, police murder. And we were talking about Khalif Browder just yesterday in the airport, talking about this very case and about the trauma that we sustain inside jail. Like, we don't get trauma counselors when we come out of jail.
No.
Like, we don't get any type of grief counseling. Or think about the world keeps moving when you're inside.
Yeah.
So one day is like a month. 3 years is a lifetime. Some people, and that's like, people don't understand what institutionalized means. Like, the more time you spend in there, the outside world just like sands in the hourglass. It's like,
Like, they call it being buried alive. It's like being buried alive.
And then everybody around you changing. And like, if you have children and you go in and you come out, your children are walking. They might not recognize you. They don't know how to respond to you.
Your daughter has titties. Man.
Come on, you know what I mean? And then like, and if you're going into, like, for me, like you said, you went in when you was 19, right?
21 the first time I did time, but my first time going to jail was like 14.
So
I was a kid.
But these are our formative years. Like, the first time I got locked up, I was 17, right? And then so we spending time in our formative years, so we're trying to figure out how to become young adults in a prison system that's denying you every possible right, every asset, anything that's going to be beneficial to your development as a human being. And then they just cast you back outside in society with no help, no therapy, no resources, nothing, and expect you to just get on fine. We're going to go back to the same shit that put us in there in the first place.
Why not?
Because it's the simplest shit. It's like, niggas need money. We need to eat. We got to get housing, right? So how we going to do that? The way I know, I'm going to get this money.
I love this conversation because, like, this is a conversation I had with myself when I used to be angry at my dad, because my dad went to jail when he was like 16 and he was in and out my whole life. And I remember when I was in high school, I used to get mad, like, why is he always going back to jail knowing damn well I need him out here? You know what I'm saying? Then I went through like my political awakening where I realized, he's a victim of the system.
Yes, he is.
You know what I'm saying? He literally grew up in prison. Got out, and I'm expecting him to be a father to me.
That's all he knows.
You know what I'm saying?
Jail, man. He's out of jail. That's what he wanted to do.
And you know the jail, but he know you.
Real shit.
Yeah,
that's a fact.
But to your point, that's kind of one of the things we do at One Hood, Mona, is like we help to educate. This is like we kind of use hip hop culture as a way to bring people into a conversation about politics that they would normally have. So like Miracle was saying, in 2020, we was able to elect 5 judges, all women, and 3 of them were black women. They were all progressives. And we got with other organizations to kind of create this slate, but it was hard, right? It was like, there were like 30 judges on the ballot. So it was like, it was work to kind of come to people and say, vote for these 5 women. And they ended up, and I think the top 4 judges were all black. Allegheny County is only 13% black, but people don't really vote. And so we've been able to find out, like, if we can get just enough people to vote, we got a black mayor. Our city is not 25%. We're not even a 4th black.
Yeah.
But we were able to kind of build that community power. So that's what it is for us. Like, we just had Jeezy here, and Jeezy did a documentary called Hip Hop in the White House. And so we bring Jeezy in. So of course, there's going to be folks that come that just want to hear the hood stories from Jeezy. And he gave us some hood stories, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Shout out to Jeezy. But it was like, we screened this documentary and he talked about his thing. So I think for us, we kind of see ourselves as a group that can maybe educate people about what folks is going on. And we work with, one of our brothers, Salim, who's in Philly, from North Philly, did 27 years, as a juvenile. He was given life without parole at 16. Now he's out, building and doing great things in his community. So I think that's kind of the role world. We see.
He's global.
Oh yeah, he's doing a lot. But it makes me, when you were talking about, like, he talks about, like, when he goes to prison and it has most of it has your release date, and his just said life.
Yeah.
And just thinking about, you're 16 years old and like, you're like, damn,
you can't even comprehend life.
All right, I'm never going home. You know what I'm saying?
No idea what life means at that point.
Crazy.
And what's crazy is just like, and Mona, I know you have the same.
It's funny that we're talking about all of this and like, because Kamala was supposed to be the person.
Well, that's where I was about to go with this. they look at people with criminal records and convictions as people who are just like cast away, right? And as politicians like ignore us. But you look at Donald Trump, his entire cabinet was criminals. His entire cabinet was convicted felons, and now he's a convicted felon. But yet the conversation has never come back around to what maybe this system is lopsided. Maybe the convictions are unjust for black people also. But no, instead they pass the buck on to the immigration thing, right?
They felons, but they're not the kind of felons
no, they're white collar, right? They're white collar, right?
Go to jail.
No.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they lose a vacation home, they keep the mansion.
Exactly. Yeah,
you know They still openly, and that's why.
But the conversation around felony still needs to be had. That not all felons are. Right. You would think, right?
My father did 10 years. His father did time. It ruined me and my father. We still fucked up. And I remember when I had my first baby, I was like, yo, I'm never calling her from jail. And I didn't stop committing crimes. I just switched them. Right? I was so broke. I would make a lot of money.
Let's go.
I would make a money.
Let's go. Let's go.
I would make a lot of money.
Allegedly.
I would make a lot of money, like, because that's what I did. I went to out of town and I sold drugs. It's triple the money from where you from. So you buying it cheap from where you from, catching the bus or doing whatever. And, you know, I was like, I'm going to do a crime where I always get a bail. So I started like retail theft, like selling stuff, like reseller. And that was the most money I've ever made. Because what's different from that than like selling drugs, you're not buying nothing. There's no consignment, there's no nothing. All of it is yours. You got gas money and a ride.
Yeah.
Whatever you get is all profit.
Absolutely.
And I did that for years. I mean, years. In fact, I did not stop until like nothing made me like, oh, there's nothing about this country that makes me feel like I shouldn't break the law.
No,
I'm real.
Can you say that one more time, please?
I mean,
there is nothing.
A guy might be president that has 34 felonies.
There is nothing.
Say it again.
Before Mr. 34 felonies,
okay.
There is nothing about this fucking country that makes me not want to commit crime.
Yeah.
Shit.
That's a soundbite right there, yo. I need that on a shirt.
This is Farouk's favorite episode by far.
Yo, let's go. And if I have to reiterate it for any of the new viewers, I love crime.